Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. How many times have you heard people talking about Bitcoin being correlated with the Nasdaq, with the dollar index, with fear and greed index, or even how influential the liquidity can affect the price? There's positive and negative correlation. Like for example, the DXY, when it pumps, like yesterday, it usually affects risk-on assets like Bitcoin in a negative way. Many people tend to put in the same chart side by side these assets, for example, the DXY or the Nasdaq and Bitcoin, to point out these positive or negative correlations. What I actually haven't seen a lot is people plotting these correlations directly in the chart and actually doing basic technical analysis, assuming these correlations are actually true. In this chart, we are looking at Bitcoin divided by the Nasdaq, and this other one by the dollar index, Bitcoin multiplied by the volatility index, and in this one, Bitcoin is multiplied by how much the Fed is investing in the markets. We can see that there are very significant levels of support and resistance that are not so evident when we look at the naked price of Bitcoin. In today's video, we're going to look into these four correlations: Nasdaq, DXY, VXY, and liquidity coming from the Fed, how it affects the price of Bitcoin, and how it's creating certain patterns in the charts that we can use with alerts to get notified of significant levels that we must pay attention, just like we should have done in the past if we were aware of these levels that are not so evident to the vast majority of the other traders. Guys, if this is the kind of content you like to watch, it will really help the channel if you hit the like, subscribe, and switch on the notification bell so you get notified every time I publish a new video. And remember, the two things that you can do best for this channel are watch the video until the very end and do not go anywhere without leaving that precious comment. Thank you so much for that. So many people are talking about the correlation between Bitcoin and the Nasdaq that I thought it might be worth having a look at the value of Bitcoin divided by the Nasdaq. Starting here from 2017, we can see how this level acts as a resistance around June of 2017. After, in September, it retests the same level as a support. And that level of support will become historically the same level of support for the 3 years after. And this is something that is evident only if you're charting Bitcoin divided by Nasdaq. If we bring the actual price of Bitcoin, you can see that there is an exception, because around here, if you look at the orange color, which is the price of Bitcoin, it's the same support as here. But in COVID, it doesn't reach the same level. That is something that is only evident when you divide Bitcoin by Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is adjusting the movements of Bitcoin in this case to highlight that certain levels were the same levels as before, but since the Nasdaq has changed value, it allows us to go back to the same position we were. And the same goes to this level of resistance that we touch many times here as support as well. And once it's broken, we head to the next levels. These levels around here are resistance, and then more recently, they have become the most recurrent level of support in the whole bear market. Like, it's been support all these times, and even today we are in the same level as we were in June 2019 and in February 2018. Now, looking to the upside, because you might be wondering, when are we gonna get out from this box? Well, we are contained currently by this level, which shouldn't surprise you, because in the channel we constantly refer to this level as the big boss of the previous bull market. Interestingly, this level is reached on this peak, but not on this one here, which is way below. It's almost halfway through. If we bring the actual price of Bitcoin, we're gonna see that the second peak in the actual price was higher than this one here, which is at 30K. This one reached 31.5K. But when you divide by the price of Nasdaq, which was pumping at this point, it constrained this ratio that we are plotting here between BTC and Nasdaq, causing it to form this structure around here. Now, this is a descending triangle, which many might argue that it could break down to the downside to these levels around here, which are below this. or it could also push from here to the upside. We'll have to see what happens. When we look at the Nasdaq as well, we can see that there are some horizontal levels that are being respected, and the structure seems to be something like this. Let's move on to the DXY, the dollar index. This is also giving us very interesting insights that we cannot get with the Nasdaq. Similar to the Nasdaq, we also have these 3 levels of support. Very interesting to see that in this case, we are dividing by a completely different value. And again, the COVID comes back to the same level it was in 2017 and in 2019. This top in June 2019 coincides with this bottom around here. But if we look at the naked price, you're going to see that it doesn't. It seems to not stop anywhere really significant. Neither the all-time high from before, neither this top is just in the middle of nowhere. But when it's divided by the DXY, this level perfectly matches that level of June. The all-time high in 2017, it's with a few levels, not very significant ones, but the 25 does with these levels there, the big boss of the bull market. And what this chart is showing is that after these levels, we should be heading towards that level of resistance, which is located at around 44 to 48K. On the VYX, the volatility index, I'm still not convinced whether it's better to multiply it by its value or to divide it by its value. When we multiply it, you can notice we are bouncing since 15K, then we bounce on 20K in the price of Bitcoin, and now we are at 25, but all these levels are bouncing at the same level as in February 2018. Don't get confused. This is not the 20K all-time high. If we bring Bitcoin, that was in December, but they're all bouncing around here. Let's bring the VYX in a separate pane, and you're going to see that once this pushes, it's actually influencing the price and pushing the price higher. But interestingly, that creates enough significance in such a way that then it becomes relevant throughout the whole history that is about to come for Bitcoin. The same thing is happening around these levels. So this is resistance, and then we have a final resistance around here. Notice how this push here, magnified again by the VXY, coincides with the area where Bitcoin is really pushing high. But after that, the VXY starts coming down, dragging the price of Bitcoin to the same levels where it came from. Very interesting analysis can be done really with the volatility index. If we change this by dividing, we get completely different values. This looks nothing at all as the previous chart, but it's still providing lots of significant levels. And I'm not surprised because these 4 symbols that we are analyzing, they are really impacting all markets. And at the same time, markets impact them, which is basically what it means that they are correlated. You can see how these levels are extremely relevant. All these 4 peaks that are there that then are bouncing on the same level here. If you identify this level around here and you put a line there, all these bounces that you have there are not evident at all in the naked price. I'm going to show you the last one, which is the Bitcoin price now multiplied by how much the Fed is investing, which is an indication I take from the Fed as an insider, knowing when markets are going to go up or down. We can use it as a leading indicator. Therefore, incorporating it in this way with the Bitcoin price makes a lot of sense to me. In this particular chart, we can see how the all-time high is perfectly matching the bottom of the market. Many people were expecting that that was going to be precisely what happened during this bear market. People were expecting that we were going to stop just around the previous all-time high and we were going to go higher just because that never happened before. But people were looking at the naked price action. When we look at this, adjusting by certain factors that evidently have an impact on the Bitcoin price, we can see how the story completely changes. In this case, this is the dream of many of those traders that we perfectly bounce at the previous all-time high. And all of this, it's influenced by how much the Fed was investing. Here you can see how the Fed was all this time selling, and then they started buying and selling. All the bear market, they were selling, and they started reinvesting in the largest move of Bitcoin this year, which was from November to April 2023. After that, they've been going sideways, and that's precisely what the Bitcoin price is doing. And in my opinion, this is one of the most significant proportions that you can calculate in a chart to give you much better adjusted insights on what the price is doing. In the rest of the video, I'm going to focus on how you can use this. What is the value of this, and what could you take away to take advantage of this cool alpha? Well, let's say you were interested in trading BTC divided by what the Fed is doing. You could draw the next levels of resistance. The first one is located here, the second one there, and we have one which was the one that pushed to almost 48K. You can click on these elements, and on each one of them, you can select Add Alert and send it to yourself as an email. Make sure that you select the conditions that you are actually caring about. For example, if it's a level of resistance, you could say, I want to get notified when it's crossing up. You could do it once per bar in a daily chart. In this case, that means that as soon as the price is crossing up, even if it reverses, you will get notified anytime during the day. Or if you want to get notified once the bar closes above, you can do as well that. Make sure that here you send a very meaningful message. These levels might get reached next year, and you're going to look at the alert and not remember why did you set up this alert. One thing I do is I save the chart layout and I copy in the alert, and I never change that layout again. So when I get the alert, I can quickly click on this link and go and look at the chart and remember why did I set that alert. Guys, if you want to trade any of these setups, have a look at the description. I have links with 60,000 rewards. All the instructions are there for OKX, and all my favorite exchanges and crypto products are all packed with rewards and discounts. Some of my favorites are 3 Commas, OKX, Bybit. Recently, I'm using a lot material indicators, of course, TradingView. Week Hunter is an amazing trading bot platform that you can run bot for free. I store my crypto using Tangent Wallet, which is a card that you can take anywhere. Consider using Bitrefill. It's amazing because you can deposit crypto and then exchange for any services, including paying your phone bills, supermarket, retail, everything. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do not go anywhere without leaving a comment. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.